I'm Elex Michaelson. This week, the issue is White House confrontation. We take you inside the Oval Office for a tense meeting between the President of the United States versus the President of Ukraine. It's a meeting unlike anything we've ever seen before. With us, Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia. We'll also talk about Elon Musk as the only Democrat on the DOGE subcommittee. Also with us, Trump supporting Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, the newest candidate for governor of California. Then, TMZ's Harvey Levin on his new interview with the Menendez brothers. The Issue Is starts right now.
Broadcasting across California, you're watching The Issue Is.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
That.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
Scenes from an unprecedented Oval Office meeting between President Trump, Vice President Vance, the President of Ukraine. Afterwards, President Trump canceling a press conference with Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Question is, where do we go from here? Joining us right now is the Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia from Long Beach, who is the lone Democrat on the DOGE subcommittee. Congressman, welcome back to The Issue Is.
Yeah, happy to be with you.
What went through your mind? You were watching that meeting live unfold.
It was very hard to watch. You showed a short clip of what was a very long exchange in the Oval Office, a very disrespectful exchange in the Oval Office. One where I think the president not only attacked, of course, Zelenskyy, but former President Biden, all sorts of other diplomatic efforts. And of course, I think would not and could not get himself to actually say that Vladimir Putin has actually been a horrific actor in all that is happening in Ukraine and across the world. And I think this is the exact type of conflict in our Oval Office that Vladimir Putin is sitting back and enjoying. And that, I think, was what's really dangerous about this moment, is that was disgraceful. It should not have happened. That's a conversation that should have happened behind closed doors. And I'm sorry that the president, the vice president, I think, unfairly attacked Zelenskyy. And I think that Zelenskyy we're now in a much more difficult position for diplomacy and for any kind of deal.
The president says it's good to do this out in public for everybody to see what's happening, that it's good to hash it out. What's wrong with that?
Look, I don't think it's ever positive to demean an ally and to belittle the leader of another nation in the Oval Office in front of the news. I think that was very disrespectful. I think that's the type of thing that does nothing to actually move diplomacy forward. And I'm hearing from both Republicans, by the way, and Democrats that are just very concerned about what happened in that meeting. And more importantly, Zelenskyy was there to try to come up with some kind of agreement with the White House. We have, and we've been very clear, that Vladimir Putin attacked Ukraine. And the fact that Donald Trump is unwilling to say that and willing to say and call Zelenskyy a dictator himself, and that somehow Ukraine provoked Putin to attack, I think is just really shameful. I think we need to be very honest about what happened. Russia attacked Ukraine. Ukraine has been trying to defend itself with the support of the United States and the world community, and Donald Trump is now undermining those efforts.
Meanwhile, another big story happening in Washington is what's happening with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Elon Musk running DOGE. You are the only Democrat on the DOGE subcommittee from California, sort of pushing back on some of what Elon Musk is doing. That subcommittee is chaired by Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia. Here is a moment from one of the hearings.
In the last Congress, Chairwoman Greene literally showed a pic in our oversight congressional hearing. So I thought I'd bring one as well. Now, this, of course, we know is President Elon Musk. He's also the world's richest man. He was the biggest political donor in the last election.
Do you really think Elon Musk is the president, or are you basically just trolling them for attention?
Elon Musk, for all intents and purposes, is the co-president of the United States. Look at the immense power that Donald Trump has given to Elon Musk. It is huge and very disruptive. What Elon Musk is right now doing to all of our federal agencies. He is sending out emails, firing thousands and thousands of workers. He's going and cutting programs that he has no legal right to do so. And he's causing massive harm to the American public. And Donald Trump seems to have zero interest in guiding or providing any sort of direction to what Elon Musk is doing. And so absolutely, Elon Musk has been given the freedom to act as a co-governing partner to Donald Trump. There is absolutely no question. And we should be concerned. Look at just the FAA. I'm very concerned that now, through the DOGE efforts of Elon Musk, we have let go over 400 FAA safety technicians and workers at the same time that we're having very serious collisions and near misses in our skies and around our airports. We know that we need to be hiring more FAA air traffic controllers, not less. And to let go so many people, that's just one example, should be concerning all of us. These are the concerns that we have, and we have to be and demand more transparency from Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
And Elon Musk right now is refusing to even testify before your committee to answer questions about this, which I know is something that you are pushing back on. But that reminds us that the Democrats really don't have that much power right now in the House, the Senate, the White House, or even the Supreme Court. How do you stop this? What is the Democratic plan to fight back effectively and actually achieve results?
Well, I mean, look, I think part of what you said is absolutely right. We do have the ability to push back on some of the absolute worst policies and ideas that they have. And I'll give you a couple examples. When the Trump administration came forward and tried to cancel grants for nonprofits across the country, we got loud, we spoke out, we organized nonprofits, and they had to retract and push back. When Elon Musk sent his email just last week asking all federal employees to respond with the 5 things they did the week before, which was completely ridiculous, of course, we pushed back, made noise, and they retracted that effort. And so getting loud, being consistent, being tough, being aggressive does actually work. And this oversight is really, really important. The other option we have is the courts. And the courts have done, I think, a pretty solid job of pushing back on some of the worst ideas that Elon Musk has tried to put forward. But make no mistake about it, there's massive damage being caused right now to our federal institutions, and I fear a lot more is ahead of us.
Let's end with something fun. This is what we call personal issues, a chance to get to know some of your cultural favorites. We're going to put 30 seconds up, and this is the first thing that comes to mind. I know you're a big pop culture guy, which I appreciate. So here we go. What is the favorite TV show you've watched recently?
Favorite TV show I've watched recently would have to be, I just got caught up on Andor from Star Wars.
Okay, very nice. What is your favorite book you've read recently?
I'm actually reading right now A Siren's Call by Chris Hayes, and it's great so far, so really enjoying it.
The MSNBC host writing about the attention economy, which we know is in short supply. What's your favorite Oscar movie?
Honestly, it probably not going to win, but I love The Wicked. It's awesome.
There we go. I know you're a bit of a sci-fi guy. Do you have a favorite Star Trek character of all time?
Star Trek of all time is Jean-Luc Picard. No question. First of all, I've seen every single Star Trek show, every single movie. Next Generation can't be beat.
I totally agree with that. It's all about Captain Jean-Luc Picard. And this one is for you specifically. What is your favorite RuPaul Drag Race catchphrase?
Oh, man. If you can't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
Amen. Congressman,
right. All right.
Thank you very much. Up next, we have Republican Sheriff Chad Bianco, who I don't think has a catchphrase, but he'll have a different view of the world. Congressman Garcia, thanks so much for being with us. We really appreciate the perspective.
Thank you.
I am here to announce our campaign to be the next governor of California.
Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco recently announced his run for governor of California. He is the most high-profile Republican to enter the race so far. Sheriff Bianco joins us now from Riverside. Sheriff, welcome back to The Issue Is, and congrats on the run.
Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Was there a specific moment where you decided, I got to run, and I'm the most qualified person in the state to do this job?
I think it was a culmination of probably 32 years of getting to this point, and then specifically the last 6 in trying to do everything I could to make public safety better, but running into the obstacles in Sacramento that were making it virtually impossible. So it was many things on top of each other, noticing and paying attention to the people that are going to run, that have been talking about running or that have already announced. It's completely obvious. It's the same names and faces of what we all believe are the ones that got us here in this position in the first place. And so to allow someone that created the problem to now say, without saying I'm sorry, say I'm going to fix it, it doesn't work that way.
You know, though, the politics of this are tough. The Democrats outnumber Republicans 2-1. Donald Trump has never topped 40% in this state. Lay out for me the specific path to victory and what Democrats are going to join your coalition.
But the reality of this is I'm not going to make this, and I'm not going to allow what we typically do in elections to make this about Democrats and Republicans. I'm running for all of California. I'm not doing this. I'm not the sheriff of Riverside County for just Republicans. It's for all Riverside County residents.
Oh, we know there's a lot of Republicans that have said that before when they're running, that it's not just about the party, and they haven't been able to do it. What's different about you? What's different this time?
I think how you just laid out the question, they all say it. They've all been politicians. Other than you get some businessmen, businesswomen that have tried to do it and failed, but they play politics. I'm not going to play politics. Everyone in this state knows exactly who I am. They know exactly my morals, my ethics, my leadership ability, and I'm not going to change that to try and appease a smaller group.
So we know you're passionate about fighting crime. What is one specific policy change that you could implement, even with a potential Democratic supermajority, that would make Californians safer?
I will work with the Democrats in the legislature to ensure that the entire aspects of Prop 47 are done away with. We will repeal AB 109. We will start investing in our jails and our prison systems to not only make more bed space for criminals that harm us, because we have to get to a point where we have to realize that the only way to keep us safe is what you're seeing on screen. They have to be put away. They have to be held accountable, and there has to be a consequence. And when there is no consequence, there's no reason for them not to commit crimes.
We know that you're a big supporter of President Trump. We were with you at the RNC. In a sentence, can you describe Donald Trump's job performance so far?
I think he's done a great job. I don't think that, I can't say that I like everything, the way it comes across as the things that he says, but his policies are exactly what America wants. His policies of government, of getting rid of government waste, of if he can cut taxes, cut taxes. If he can stop the waste where we can provide a better service instead of wasting that money, that's what we should be doing.
What do you make of Elon Musk's role? What do you say to the government workers who are afraid they're going to potentially lose their jobs?
I know there is a lot of bureaucratic waste and time-consuming issues that are really a product of overgrown government. So the only thing that I'm not truly a fan of is I know how government works, and I know if you truly use the leadership ability to get to the bottom of it, you may be able to rid the waste over a little bit longer period of time. It doesn't have to be done in an hour, and I think that's what causes all of the anxiety and the angst that people are feeling about thinking that they may lose their jobs. I think that there has to be a much more in-depth exam to make sure that things are real.
So it sounds like what you're saying is maybe we need to use a scalpel, not a hammer, and be a little more nuanced.
I may have to steal that from you because that's a lot better than my long answer. But I think that's exactly right.
We're going to end right here on The Issue Is with something fun, which we've done with you before. Personal issues. This is where we do your cultural favorites. First thing that comes to mind. And here we go. So, Sheriff Bianco, who is your favorite band or favorite musician?
Kid Rock.
There you go. Big Trump guy. Favorite sport to play?
There is only one sport. It's baseball.
Is that also your favorite sport to watch, I'm guessing?
Actually, no. I like hockey.
Okay. And in terms of who's your favorite hockey team and favorite baseball team?
Well, I absolutely have to go with the Kings just because I live here and everything else. But baseball, because I'm so personally involved in baseball, it's got to be the Yankees.
Wow, not the Dodgers. Okay.
Well, I know. I'm glad they won. I am glad they won. But I was a Yankee fan.
Okay. What's your favorite Oscar movie?
Wow. I don't watch too awfully many movies, so I'm not sure about that.
Surprised you didn't say Wicked. No, I'm kidding. What is the best way for you to relax?
The best way for me to relax is it doesn't even have to be long. Nice little horseback ride.
And over the course of doing this, we've had the pleasure of meeting your beautiful wife, Denise. What does she think about all this and the possibility of being First Lady of California?
Well, she had to be the final decision maker. It had to be up to her, and it had to be up to my kids of whether or not I was going to do this. She's all in. She's not sure if she's all into the whole First Lady of California, but I know she's going to make a great one.
All right. Sheriff, thanks so much for joining us. I hope to see you in person sometime soon. Thanks for coming on The Issue Is.
Thanks, Elex. I appreciate it.
Up next, TMZ's Harvey Levin with the Menendez brothers. Stay with us.
What happened to you?
I was picked on, bullied violently, and it was traumatic.
Harvey Levin and Mark Garagos co-host the new podcast, Two Angry Men. They recently spoke with Erik and Lyle Menendez, who joined from prison this week. I co-hosted TMZ Live with Harvey and continued the conversation here on The Issue Is. Harvey, welcome back to The Issue Is, and thank you for having us here.
We love having you here.
Congrats on the new podcast, Two Angry Men, which is such a perfect title.
Thank you.
And you have this conversation, which was really eye-opening, with Erik and Lyle Menendez. And it seems like they're transformed men.
They are so transformed. I covered the trials, and I viewed them as spoiled brats at the very least, in addition to the murders. And I was stunned. Mark Garagos is my co-host. He is their lawyer. And they came on, and they have become thoughtful, responsible, caring. And when I say that, there are things to back it up. I mean, they had no hope of getting out of prison until very recently. And with no hope, do you want to improve yourself? Do you want to get a college education? Do you want to start a hospice program? Do you want to work on suicide prevention inside the prison? Do you want to work on green spaces? Can you tolerate the abuse you suffer, like a broken jaw when people attack you?
Yep.
And they did.
We are moving forward with an investigation.
So Governor Newsom is now looking at their case, and all of what you just said is potential evidence that will help them get out.
It's what
exactly what you want.
It's what Newsom's going to look at.
Right.
And I don't know that it's coincidental that it was a week after we did the podcast that all of a sudden Newsom said, yeah, we're going to do this review, because I thought he was going to wait until the resentencing hearing ran its course.
Yeah.
But now that he's doing this, now that Newsom has asked the parole board to see if they're rehabilitated, whether they pose a danger, I don't know that it's even relevant to have a resentencing hearing, because it's going to ultimately end up on Newsom's desk, no matter what.
And that resentencing hearing on March 20th and 21st. Meanwhile,
your country is in big trouble.
I know.
How do you assess the state of the Trump presidency right now?
Chaos. I mean, I also think it's controlled chaos. I think Donald Trump has a plan to shake things up, because that feeling of shaking things up is what people want. And it doesn't mean that it's ultimately going to be productive. Maybe some of it will, but clearly some of it won't. But I think shaking things up is the mantra at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue right now.
Last time you were on with us on The Issue Is, you kind of went viral for slamming the Democratic Party and the way that they acted during the last election.
The Democrats have become bullies.
What do you make of the Democratic response right now? It seems like Trump's got the whole stage to himself, and the Democrats almost seem irrelevant.
I think the Republican response is way more important than the Democrat response. I think what happened yesterday with Senator Kennedy from Louisiana, where, and this is going to get me upset, even talking about this. But Senator Kennedy, a Republican from Louisiana, stood up and was outraged at the nominee for Solicitor General, who was asked, will the Trump administration follow court orders? And his answer was generally yes. And Senator Kennedy looked at this guy and said,
don't ever say you're not going to follow the order of a court. You may not agree with it, but that's my advice.
If we do not follow what the courts do, democracy is over. It's over. Over. Mm-hmm. And Senator Kennedy was so strong on this point, and I would be even stronger, because not only should this guy not be confirmed, he should be disbarred. He should be disbarred for saying something like that.
Harvey, we'll leave it there on that uplifting note.
Sorry,
Great to
Sorry,
see
Alex.
you. Thanks so much for all the insights. And again, you can check out his podcast, Two Angry Men, available wherever you get your podcasts. Up next, how popular are Donald Trump and Gavin Newsom in California? We've got some new poll results. People that might say that's a bit of a distraction from your day job.
No, it's essential for my day job. It's an opportunity to communicate people, respecting all of you, directly.
That was me with Governor Newsom this week as he launched a new podcast where he's going to be interviewing conservative guests. A new PPIC poll out this week shows the governor's approval in California is at 52%, 47% disapproval. That's up 8 points since their last poll in October. As for Donald Trump, he's at 30% approval among California voters. He's got 38% of the vote back in the election in November. A reminder, this is still an overwhelmingly Democratic state. That's all for this week. Thanks so much for watching. Another reminder to download our podcast for extended interviews. Just search for The Issue Is wherever you stream.